How many diuretics did you take last night?
I took one diuretic last night after I told you. I was contemplating Lasix or the diuretic. It was late. And then this morning I was considering taking 25 hydrochlorothiazide, but I said, okay. I think my face is down.
Tomorrow? I have to take a diuretic.
Are you peaking right now? Are you peaking?
Listen, pictures are forever. Videos are forever. Right now, I'm not showing my incredible physique, so my face has to be like chiseled, right?
Episode 44, we're back, and we just had a couple visitors that decided to swing by. Big Regan and in the Mind.
Not Big Mind?
Hey, I want to ask you a question, Milos. So, how did your guy miss his weight at the UFC this past weekend? I thought you were training this guy.
No, I didn't, of course. Yeah, but hey, I don't know if you've seen the last fight that Khamzat Chimaev had with Burns. If you watch in the video, the weight cut that they have, it's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, we lose water very easily. Very specifically, they can't. They have to do it naturally. He was dead to the door. He had to be lifted up to just walk. So I don't know what I heard. Okay, I lost my. Something is wrong.
Why do you keep unplugging it?
Yeah. Am I on? I'm on and off. On and off. But anyway, just to make it quickly, Khamzat was lighter this time, coming to Vegas so many days before than previously. So he should have made the weight.
Said, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so he should have made the weight.
Missed it by 7 pounds. That's a big mess.
That's too much, yeah. I don't know the details behind it. But listen, I think it was more competitive fight with Kevin, even though Khamzat made it look not competitive.
How is this guy a future world champ? Or
yeah, he looks like it. He's a
pretty easily
bona fide killer, stone cold killer.
How would he have done against Diaz? Think he would have won, or
it would be a shorter fight.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I bet
that's what he said.
That's what he said. We it died.
That's what he said. I would be in jail for killing him.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's totally dead in my headset, but that's okay. As long as it's,
I can hear you.
As long as we can hear it in here.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Mm-hmm. It's cutting in and out. Can you? It's okay if I don't have. If you guys can hear me loud enough,
you should be good. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We'll just.
I don't need a headset if that's the thing.
Sure.
All right. So, So I think that you think Diaz would have something to say against that.
Well, listen, I mean, we all love Nate. Yeah. Nate and Nick, they're legends. And I just think that Father Time is coming, and that was not the same Nate Diaz. I mean, he won.
38 years old, dude,
It's just not the same. Same thing for us, when we were younger, it was a different story. And then I think for fighters, when you come to that age, and you have so much money as Nate Diaz, you don't have a motivation.
Let me ask you a question. What's the peak, just not be off topic, what's the peak age for a bodybuilder? Like, what do you think our peak level? Is it in the late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s?
Yeah, late 20s and, mid 30s. But you being you were much younger, right? And Regan, right? So you might peak even earlier, early 20s.
You're 28 years old.
29.
29.
Mm-hmm.
I was second for the first time at 28 at the Olympia to Coleman, 2001.
Yeah, but...
Well...
2001. That's 20?
28,
yeah. That was your year. That was your official arrival.
And it's so easy for me back then, as far as like I didn't have to do as much. There was no secret sauce to what I did.
Yeah.
It was just train. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do a ton of cardio, and I think it was back then. It was a little less expectations, right? Because the internet didn't exist, and I mean, not every guy had crazy stride all over the place, right? You had your few in between, but to have that balance of the size, like a Chris Cormier who had been third, and like you didn't see, like he was good condition, but he had good balance more than he did the crazy conditioning of the glutes and all that, right?
Yeah. Well, if you look, Flex Wheeler didn't have glute striations, or Chris or Kevin.
Yeah.
When you think
sometimes,
about it.
yeah, right. Even
I
Dorian
think
Yates didn't have. I mean, he was hard, right?
He had it. I mean, I was recently looking at the pictures of a back double biceps from Dorian and Nasser because I had an argument with somebody. Oh, Nasser I believe that Nasser beat him 97, right? And so no way. So they both had a glute striations and hamstring, and of course Dorian's back is another level. But I think that Nasser beat him at that show.
You ever look back, Regan, at some of these like early contests, like someone like you at your age, living in the new age era? Mm-hmm. Like, do you look back at as far as like the Yates and the Flex Wheelers and Chris Cormiers and Nassers, or do you look more towards the Phil Heath, Kai Greens, and
that was the start of my that I would watch. When you were reigning. So that was the start. But on that topic, like, what was I going to say? On that topic, like, do you think the quality of bodybuilders back then were higher than it is now?
I'm not going to say that.
Because so many people say that, everyone says, back in the day, Dorian Yates, this and that. But like, look at your, the aesthetics of, you got Andrew Jack, he's ripped and he's huge and he looks amazing. Like, I don't know, were they that jacked back then too? I mean,
they definitely weren't as. I mean, there was
hard?
A few in. Like, listen, Gunter Schlierkamp was 300 pounds. Like at the 2002 Olympia, he was 300, 299, and he was huge. The same height as Andrew Jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he just didn't have the
structure,
aesthetics, right?
Okay.
To fix the heat too, the air. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's just that's kind of like, but he was in great condition, right? 2002.
Yeah, he was in great condition in the Ironman that we competed with. We both beat him at that show.
Really?
Yeah, he was crazy condition, super dry. Yeah, I'm serious.
What did he get in that show?
Fourth.
Really?
Yeah, fourth. Yeah, and he was good. But okay, so it's interesting. I asked Big Ramy yesterday. He was on the podcast as a surprise to our old school podcast. I asked Ramy, okay, Ronnie at his best or Dorian at his best? So I'm going to ask the same question to Jay. Dorian at his best or Ronnie?
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay, that's for the.
I mean, listen, you and I, we had this discussion the last episode, right, about body parts, and you said, what does he have? But you know what? When you see it in person, you're like, wow, it's impressive, right?
Yeah.
But if Coleman was at his, like, the level he was at next to him, just Ronnie, I mean, listen, man, I have no shame to say, like, even my best against Coleman's best, it's still, I would say Coleman.
So
right?
just
the best physique ever on stage. I mean, was Ronnie
So think
Coleman.
about this. What pose does Dorian win against Ronnie? Against Ronnie at his best, what pose does he win?
No.
Yeah, that's
the lat spread, rear lat spread.
But it's not. But it's not going to be
Ronnie's
Yeah.
is nuts
runaway.
too.
Look, when I was discussing with Jay, you gotta give this to Dorian. In every mandatory pose, he managed to look fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think his quads were great, or hamstring were great, or stomach was great, or chest, shoulders, arms.
But he was just
But
complete.
completely put together. Like, every pose, side triceps. He doesn't have great arms, but side triceps looks deadly. So these kind of things. But Ronnie was another level. But if you say pose by pose,
the back lat spread would be his best pose against Ronnie.
side triceps, he could get Ronnie. Ronnie didn't have a good triceps, didn't have a good abs, and didn't know how to pose really.
Yeah.
So I would say.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you got to look at Yates' front lat spread, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, at his peak, his front double bicep
freaky.
was amazing. The lats hung there.
Yeah, but that's
The
interesting.
side tricep was like, he would probably beat Coleman in that.
Yeah.
Side chest, he still would be comparable to Ronnie.
He would be, but 99 Grand Prix when Kevin Flex and Ronnie were there, that side chest, there's no way Dorian could stand next to him on that pose. But front double biceps, okay, when you look at the front double biceps, did Dorian have the good arms, good biceps? He had the left biceps missing, right?
Well, at certain point of his career.
Yeah, but it was never great arms. It's not Ronnie Coleman peak biceps. That was just ridiculous.
Craziest arms ever.
And then quads, right? There's no comparison. I mean, you've seen Ronnie, even though because of your stump and the cross striation, you could contest Ronnie on the legs. Yeah, Dorian couldn't. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, no one really had those striations like that.
Yeah. I think that Jay was the only one that can stand in a relaxed pose and be completely striated.
That's dude. I'm trying to get you. I was pushing you on those legs the other day. You know.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's funny when.
And what happened
yesterday?
I've seen the picture.
No, I took over his training.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
On the scale from 1 to 10. All right.
And then Andy told me yesterday his legs still hurt.
Yeah?
That was almost a week ago.
Yeah.
All right.
He was
So-
out for like 3 days. He was out.
He witnessed. He was there taking the videos. He saw her. You know, right? It's a good session, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
So you're gonna show Regan what it takes?
Listen,
Coach
man,
Jay?
you know,
You gonna
he,
lock him in your? You gonna lock him in a spare bedroom?
Listen, you're biggest you've been right now.
Yeah.
What's
for
your weight today?
294 in the morning.
Dude, and you just got back from a trip. You just got back from. Tell me about Italy a little bit.
Yeah, Italy was sweet. I mean, it was a really quick trip. It was the Yamamoto Italy Cup, so it was really cool to go there and represent, the company that I'm with, and a lot of people came out, and you got to take a lot of pictures, and the people there are awesome. So it was good. Like I said,
What part were you in?
Was it near Venice?
Okay.
Yeah.
Padova.
Padova. Or
Did you go to
Padova?
the canals at all, or?
I didn't. See, I literally came in. I was there for 2 days and flew out. So it's like
Okay.
I was flying and traveling as long as I was actually there. So I would have liked to spend a little more time, but I was obviously I'm in a really good rhythm here training. So I really wanted to get back, and
Smart.
yeah, I'm just like, let's get the work done and get back and train.
Tell me a little bit. Who'd you train for the show?
Jamie and Mohammed Al Mamam, second and fourth place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Crazy shape.
Yeah,
Mohammed?
Jamie is 6'5", okay, and he was over 300 pounds.
300 on stage. Yeah.
He looked good. He was here a few weeks prior.
Yeah, he was here for some photo shoots and traveled a little bit too much. But listen, I mean, structure. He's probably the widest because he's so tall.
Tall, yeah,
His
structure,
shoulders
yeah.
are so wide and super small waist. So front legs, front lat spread is
Front lat
ridiculous.
spread's crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably the best.
And then he has this round muscle belly, so the good chest.
What
good
was he
shoulders, good arms.
missing? Just the height to size ratio, you think?
Maybe a little bit more harness from the back. That some people would mention that he needs a little bit more, striations on the lats and insertions, and there was touch off from the front. But when you work with somebody that tall, if he comes flat, being that tall, he's going to be called the classic physique guy, right?
Were you helping?
was- I
Were
was
you
there.
answering Milos's questions? Was he asking you how he looked on stage, or?
Yeah, he just sent me the pictures. He didn't explain. I say, how there he's looking. He sent me the picture.
No, he looked bang on. Literally, he was super dry. He was super full. I thought he peaked perfectly.
Yeah, he peaked perfectly.
It's just the difference is like you're comparing someone who's 6'5". He's just not like the other guys. You got a guy that's 6'5" and everyone else is under 6. Vlad's probably 5.
So tell me about this guy, Vlad. I've never seen this guy before. Youngster,
Never?
or
Oh, listen, he qualified for Olympia last year. He just couldn't come because of a visa issue.
where's he from?
Ukrainian.
Ukraine, yeah.
Okay.
Ukrainian, yeah. And thickly muscled. I think he made a huge improvements, right, in a very short
he
period of
did, he
time.
did, for sure.
Dense, right?
He got a lot bigger for sure. Because I competed against him in Romania in 2020. That's my first pro win. So I think he was second or third there, and he was coming up. He was
Youngster?
Yeah. He's 25 or 6. I
Yeah.
think.
He has everything, the thickly muscled, conditioned. Now he wasn't conditioned previous show, whatever he was competing. And it's not that beauty like somebody like Regan, but has everything. So, when they have everything, a thickly muscle conditioned guy, then what do you do? For me, if Jamie won, a lot of aesthetic people would command the judges for it. Yeah. It's not like, oh, wow, he didn't deserve to win. He's way more aesthetic. So it always comes to that question: is bodybuilding beauty or a freak show?
Yeah,
he was
both.
If you have a combo of both, it's great. But
yeah, if you have
it's pretty crazy when you say pretty, and this guy's 294.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because
This is the biggest he's been, I think. Right? I mean,
by far. Yeah.
I mean, you're done now with the whole classic thoughts and right, whatever.
Don't even fucking answer. Look at him.
man's physique crosses his mind because
There's no weight cap in men's
Yeah,
physique.
yeah.
Just do
All
it.
right, let's talk a little bit about your experience the last, let's say, when's it been? 2 months since you've been on here.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've just been training. like I said, just been trying to get it. I mean, we made a program about 28 weeks out
Out of the show.
Yeah, from the Olympia.
24.
24 was it?
No, the other plan. There are two plans to the show.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I want to know about the nutrition, because I know you've always battled eating enough and having enough food, in preparation. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Milos, you love high protein. So the biggest thing is, getting in the carbs are pretty easy to eat. I don't mind eating the rice, and the protein, I get around 10 ounces. I think you'd like 12 or more.
He gets about 60% of what I recommend.
No way.
How many meals a day are you eating?
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you have to get up a little earlier to get your meals in. You're training like after what, 2 meals?
Yeah, two or three.
Okay.
Yeah. What has helped is I do like a shake before the gym and a shake after the gym. So these are like 2 meals that I'm easily able to get in around the training.
Shout out to Yamamoto, right?
Oh yeah, Iso Fuji. It's good. So yeah, I mean 2 shakes in the day and then 4 like whole meals, which has been obviously that just going to continue, and I'm in a really good rhythm. Putting weight on, but I'm still relatively lean. Like I still have abs, so I feel.
We see the pictures. We see the pictures.
So if you were guiding him, what would you say he needs to do to take it to the next level?
I see more progress that I've ever seen with him, and that's probably because he hasn't been doing like anytime he's been here, he's been like prepping for shows, right?
Yeah.
Even though now, like you had the Olympia, you said you started 24 weeks or whatever, but you're still, I consider this like off season, like fuller look, right?
Now, for sure.
Talk about your sleep, because I know you've now sorted out a sleeping issue, because that's a biggest obstacle.
Crazy.
That body. I know for me today, I hear it more than ever is the lack of sleep in bodybuilding. And we were just talking about this before you showed up.
Yeah.
And he said, "How much did you sleep?" And dude, I could fall asleep like everywhere. And he knows
He would sleep 8 or 9 hours a night. But then after he trained, you'd see him in the movie theater.
You would pass
and he would
out
just
again?
sit there and go back. He'd
because
sleep
I
2
was on a high carb program, so when you eat that many carbs, like especially after training, eating 200 plus grams of carbs.
Yeah.
I followed a little bit of your protocols, Milos. I would, get really tired that way.
Sure,
So talk about your sleep.
Yeah, so I mean that's been a huge thing. Matt and I, we travel, internationally, and this is kind of like when I figured it out, because you have also sleep apnea.
Yeah, I have really bad sleep apnea.
Yeah, so we'd be traveling, and he'd be like four seats up from me, and I would be behind, and I would fall asleep. But I would be so loud, and like people would be beside Matt and be like, "What's wrong with that guy?"
Tell me, did they almost kick him off the plane?
No. So we're in we're on our way to that disaster we had in Dubai, and we get downgraded from business class to economy all the way to Germany. So this is when COVID was at like its height.
Yeah.
So you have to have your mask on. So he'd be eating, he'd take like 4 bites, and he'd just go. And he'd fall asleep, and the lady would be, come wake him up. And so at the like 3/4 way through the flight, she came and set this note down, and it said, "If we have to warn you one more time, you're going to be kicked off the plane. We get to Germany, and we're going to call the authorities." And I was like, "You have got to get your fucking sleep fixed. This is a problem."
But you put it off for a long time, though, right?
Yeah, because I didn't really think that it was.
You just didn't think it's not you, right?
Yeah, you're like, I don't have.
I was the same way.
You ever this issue, or?
Of course, I have sleep apnea too. But when you say about snoring in an airplane, when you like kind of snore and then you wake
catch
yourself
yourself,
up, and then you're like kind of coughing, like it was not snoring.
So now I take a flight. I don't know, where was it? My connection. Where's my first connection?
Germany. Vegas to Germany.
Vegas to Germany. So the short flight from Germany to Venice, I don't know, it's an hour and 20 minutes or something. But for instance, like I was still sleeping. I was so tired, so I'm like, kind of dazing off, and then I'll snore and I'll wake myself up, and I kind of get scared because I'm like, oh shit, I'm way too loud. Like I'm waking everyone up. Like they're all probably like, what's wrong with you?
You know how many times I filmed him and posted it online?
So anyways, it was maybe a month or 2 months ago now. I went for a sleep study here in Vegas, and I got the results back, and I wake up 59 times per hour, or I stop breathing 59 times per hour. It's almost
Is that like what?
That's
What was
almost
yours?
one per
test?
minute.
Mine was
even
fatal
worse.
level. I can't
Yeah.
live without it.
So literally
mine was over 300.
Yeah, when you go into the test, they're like, okay, we're going to give you 2 hours where we're going to monitor you without the mask and just see like how many times you wake up, stop breathing, whatever. I think it was like 15 minutes. They couldn't.
Mine was 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and they said, well, we can't watch this anymore.
They came and woke me up and said, I went, damn, I slept for 4 hours, and they're like, it's 15. We can't watch. We're afraid you're not going to wake up because I was choking.
That was Matt.
You remember when we used to travel? I would choke everywhere we went, or I'd
It was
fall
so
asleep.
long ago now that because I remember when you used to travel without it, and you'd say, "But I still ask you all the time." I'm like, "Did you sleep?" And you're like,
I do now.
so."
And so now, once you have a machine, you actually sleep. I mean, I'll still wake up some.
What's the percentage of people that have sleep apnea? There's great.
We just had a conference call
Yes.
the other day, and the guy owns a sleep apnea. What do you say? 59% of
way more
American
people
adults
probably
have
have
it.
it than so many people have it.
But if you can't sleep, you can't grow.
No. I feel way better now, mentally, physically. Everything.
Milos, how much did you sleep when you were
You need a
a
sleep
full-time
apnea machine.
bodybuilder?
I had to.
He still is a full-time bodybuilder.
listen.
So you still have, and you're ignoring
He
it.
doesn't use it.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it. Yeah,
We're gonna get
What's
you.
wrong?
I live this long, so shit.
What time do you go to bed and wake up?
What a great response. I live this long, so fuck it.
Yeah, look, I took Arnold's recommendation.
so much better.
He says you have only 24 hours, so when you sleep faster. Sleep 6 hours, but sleep faster. So that's what I do. I mean, I'm a night owl. I go 3 o'clock in the morning. You can probably see me posting on Instagram.
Milos posts more. The only person who posts more than Milos is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, really? Shit.
Does Snoop Dogg post a lot?
He's got like 100,000 posts.
Oh,
Milos
I
is
didn't
like
know
3
that.
behind him.
He must have a good
Yeah, listen,
digital
I
flow.
mean, for me, this
I
is.
thought you post a
How does he
lot.
come up with all that content?
No, Milos will post like 15
Milos
times
posts
in like
way
an
more.
hour sometimes.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, hey, I just saw a tree down the street. There it
Nick
is.
Walker posts a lot.
2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two a day probably. Yeah.
There was the days you lose like 500 followers like this because you post too much. I don't care. I don't do it for followers. That's my photo album, and I put the shit that I like.
Yeah, you
So
put-
someone
know?
said this the other day. They're like, "How the fuck does Milos have so much shit? He's got like hundreds of videos from like."
How many
1990.
posts do you have on your Instagram right now?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, pull it up.
Probably
Yeah.
8,000-9,000, something like that.
Did you ever get those 50,000 photos you put on your desktop?
How many do I have on mine?
They loaded?
Yeah, 50,000 for sure.
Milos has posted
So he put-
8,200 times.
How many do
Anything.
I have on my Instagram?
So he had an old folder of pictures, and somehow you were
1,500.
somehow
No way.
1,500. Yeah.
How many's Regan
The
got?
goddamn amateur, huh? Yeah, come on.
I have quite a lot, maybe 5,000.
Regan's at 5,200.
5,200.
What Regan said, I found somehow on the search my
I got
old pictures.
760.
760? Yeah.
Jeez.
And all like,
Stupid
opening
shit.
mouth.
Dumb shit.
This picture, right?
yeah.
But I found 55,000 pictures from my old Enter the Mind bulletin board.
55,000.
Your
Yeah.
what is
Do you
it
know what I
called?
did? You were there.
What is it
You were
called?
there. You guys were there.
tried
What is
to
it
help-
called?
we tried to
What do you
help
say?
you.
The Mind Bulletin Board?
Yeah. Enter the Mind.
Oh, okay.
Enter the
Okay.
Mind.
So I don't know.
Yeah?
What do you call that when you scroll? You try to like
Drag into the folder.
He dragged all 50,000 photos
To his
onto
desktop.
the front of the desktop.
No, I was supposed to do it in the folder, but I missed it, and I let it go, and it was downloading for 5 days. You guys were there, right?
No.
I didn't know how to stop it.
And you can't have that much shit on your desktop. It'll clog your computer.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's like, what do I do? Help me. I'm like, I have no idea. No one's ever done this before.
yeah, just to make it clear. Today I came here, and I have to put the coolant in my Mercedes. So I asked all of them. Jay has the same Mercedes, right? The newer class. He doesn't know where coolant goes.
Of course not.
Yeah. Too bad this is not live because I was going to
I've
take it
never
live.
opened the hood of any of my cars. How's that?
So anyway, yeah, too bad. By the time this goes out, it's gonna be too late. But
Jay
I
will
was
pay
gonna ask-
$50 for someone to put windshield wiper fluid in his car.
Yeah, I know where windshield wiper. You just the guys showed me. Actually, Regan
just
told me to
found it.
put my coolant.
Yeah,
in.
Regan said
in
put
that
coolant
one.
in
Yeah,
there.
see, that's why I didn't want to. I don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right, so you're making progress. Tell me about your training. Like, what are we doing? Are we doing giant sets? Are we doing volume? Are we doing 12 reps, 15s, 20s? I know we
Yeah.
did some leg stuff the other day.
Yeah, I mean, everything's usually,
Were your legs sore, by the way, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they were for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
travel.
yeah.
You ever felt the leg like that before? Ever felt
No,
something?
no.
All right, so I know your focus has been improving.
Yeah.
You know, chest, leg size, just overall density, right? So tell me
Yeah.
where we're at right now.
We're following a pretty. I mean, it's a when we get into the workout, 2 warm-ups sets, and then 2 really hard, like all out 110% working sets. You know, it ranges from around 12 to 15 reps. You know, but the thing is if you can go over 15, we do it, and then we're just like, oh shit, okay, we need to go heavier. You know, so just trying to go as heavy as possible, keeping the form. You know, I like to keep perfect form. And yeah, it seems to be working well. You know, I mean, maybe for legs, we choose about 5 or 6 exercises and go in and just smash it, come out.
And so you're working on the nutrition side. I know some of the training you guys train together for the contest stuff, but lately he's kind of been doing his own thing. So tell me what you see with his progress and where heading into this Olympia, what he's looking like.
Well, we talked before. I'm the biggest fan of Regan's physique since I seen the kid in 2017, right? He has this God-given structure, beautiful shape, aesthetics, right? So we all, when we talk about it, you see him, put the 15 pounds on him and he wins the Olympia. That's your words. You know, so, to get this 15 pounds of quality, of course, if I would train him, it would be 2 heavy-duty things, and then it would be, all kinds of giant sets, just pumped to the max. But he came back from Canada and started training with Andy Velchich, also a good friend, and used to be athlete. And they are similar strength. You're stronger, but so
I think Regan's stronger than most everybody, right?
Yeah.
He's stronger
It's
than
freaky.
the other guys realize.
freaky. I tell you,
You've trained a lot of guys. I mean,
what he can pull for a back is ridiculous. Shoulders ridiculous. You see the chest because of that nagging little injury and scare. I was always terrified of chest hair. And when you feel anything, and he did right here, so then we can't really push it. You can't put a heavy load.
what were you doing when you twinged it?
Geez, I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Like before this, or
Yeah. And now I just like
before Vegas, or
Yeah, years ago.
Years ago.
It's something that's just always tight there. You know, I feel like just from training, you kind of shoulders come forward a little
you
bit.
getting tissue work done, or
Yeah, so that's been helping a lot. I think now I'm able to. I think before when I would train chest, I would always kind of safety it. I wouldn't go as low, as you could. And now, since using that newbie, the electrical stimulator, it kind of gives you a bit of a feeling of safety when you go
cushion.
when you go into that position. So I've slowly worked my way there, and now I can go super deep. I can do like neck press, like the bar's almost touching here. And
And the other thing too,
feel-
when Regan does the newbie, it's not like he's lifting the bar. He's putting 315, 365 on the incline.
I'll go heavy.
He's still going heavier than a lot of pros lift without it.
So with that newbie, I know not everyone's for it. And I was also very I guess
hesitant.
I guess or ignorant
Skeptical.
to it before because you don't need that. The old school guys, they never use that, but I think it has its place. And I think like with people that have maybe lagging parts or something, want to get that connection back, or maybe an injury of some sort, like this, where I'm able to now I can train without it, and I can go super super deep. So I don't use that newbie every week. I'll use it like
you weren't using it when I was
there. So I'll use it 1 week, maybe the next week not, and the following back and forth, or we go 2 weeks without it and then use it. It's I think it's a good tool to have. I mean, a lot of people don't have access to it, so I think I'm lucky to.
I have a question for you with the newbie.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a podcast and he mentioned about Big Ramy using this for his back.
I suggested for Big Ramy, and I don't know.
I heard this. So
For the low lats, right?
So talk about this because you were like, I'm not so sure. I'm like really skeptical about the newbie, right?
I am super skeptical because let's face it. Okay, you have a machine, triggering the nervous system, to fire the muscle. Mm-hmm. It has to be counterproductive. It has to be voluntary muscle contraction. If I want to squeeze the biceps, it has to be voluntarily from here, right? Not from something else to contract my muscle, right? And then if something else, that negative feedback, if that does it for me, does my connection lessens. Mm-hmm. And I think if you do this all the time, what he does every so often, occasionally, okay. What I'm hearing from him that he had feeling of protection and safety. That's right there is benefit. That's beautiful, right? So him going much deeper in the chest, I'm very happy. What I was telling Dennis for Rami, if you watch him 2013 pro debut in New York, right?
He had a good bet lower lats.
Yeah, all the way down.
I had the same issue. Remember? I mean, I had a great Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, I just lost it.
The Hidatare Magishi had that. You know,
Why is
They
that?
think it's the rhomboid, right? Is this what you said?
no, I just said like that insertion. Maybe there is no more, the connection that maybe you need something else to fire that fiber. So on that, I believe the newbie is great for rehab. When you are rehabbing or you have injuries and stuff like that. For that, okay, let's have the impulse for those fibers if naturally is not happening.
Did it help with Hidatara?
No, I mean, he didn't use that
Oh,
machine.
I thought you did. I thought
No, he didn't use that machine. I just, when I went 2010 back to Europe and I came back 2017 and he hit the back double biceps, like, what happened? Because I've never noticed that he didn't have that.
So weird.
Yeah, so
Is it
Is
age?
it an age thing? Like,
I don't know. Probably, maybe some nerve atrophy. God knows. So in that instance, okay. Look, it's many people's great business, and I don't want to spoil Andy Welch's business. Obviously, he has a great results with the ladies and with you, right? Putting this during a workout. I am completely against it. Nobody in 70s, 80s, 90s, or your time did that. We don't need it. So okay, it's like that commodity, and
I know, but it's kind of like
you've tried it, right, Jay? Like,
yeah,
did you do it? On
I tried it, and listen, I'm not gonna it's just too much work. Does that make sense?
It's a
because
lot-
I'm a
yeah.
guy that trains like
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah, and you like to
so to
move
drag the
around.
wires
I know.
around
Yeah.
and just like what I
Yeah.
mean, and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
having the
yeah.
distraction. Like I talk about that, like the phones, like when you have to do something and pay attention to okay, crank the machine up.
Oh,
It takes
yeah.
your mindset off things,
No.
but with that, speaking on that sense, back in our era, I mean, we were like free weights, right?
yeah.
We didn't have the machines now. Like, think about the squat machines. So it's kind of like saying, well, I watched Dexter go from training like free weights to become all machines with Charles Glass, and he said, "Oh, this is what saved me, and I was able to compete till I was 52 years old." Is that the truth? I mean, I don't know.
Well, listen. Of course, compound exercise, free weights.
You said there's no difference between machines and free weights. It's all the time under tension, right?
No. Hold on. No, I actually said that. Okay, this is the question. If you fail on 6 to 8 reps doing a bench press, barbell bench press, or 6 to 8 reps of a bench press machine, where do you can say that your chest got stimulated more if you failed here or here? If you're on a machine that is designed to isolate the primary mover chest, right? Then chest is going to fail. On the bench press, many guys use triceps or shoulders or anything else, so there is no security that your chest failed here. So therefore, machines can isolate the primary mover more. So I'm not against machines, but there is always that old school hardcore, grind it.
It's a mentality.
Yeah,
more
it's
than
mentality,
anything.
and but free weights would be more damaging to the tendons and ligaments, by nature. Here is isolated. You are in a groove. You're supposed to. Here you have to adjust yourself, right? So you're doing squats. Somebody leans forward. All kinds of stuff. So when you're in machine, you're set up there. It's more physiological position.
Yeah, I'm using this really great squat machine at Kilo Club, and it's that.
Yeah, I tried it.
It's on a hinge, right?
Yeah, I love
that
it.
thing is the best. Like, I don't even put a bar on my back anymore.
Yeah.
I had to for the first time this past week because I actually trained at the new Elevation, and they didn't have that kind of squat machine. And I'm
what
like,
is it?
what is that machine that we used over there?
Can you hold on? Like
Yeah,
here?
there's like weights
you
put
go
on the
like
side, but you can hold, or you can just.
They have
but
one of
it
those
has a
at Lift
pad.
Factory
I don't know
too.
what it's called.
The pad comes across.
Yeah,
the
it's like
front?
it's like a. It's
What's
on
that
a
called?
pivot kind of.
Okay, I think I know.
It's
Yeah.
better.
It's great though. So I mean, I was asking you. You
I
were
think
doing.
Fit Club just ordered it.
But you were doing like the fake hack squats, like when I was over there, and so.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
stuff that you feel.
Yeah, I love that exercise.
Fake hack squats. You hear that?
squats.
The fake one.
What is that hack squat called? Linear or
Oh, the one that
the
you
one
use?
you hold like down here?
The fake one, the Milos.
but that one in the powerhouse gym is excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you
2-plate
can
Jamie
really
hit
feel
that
it.
one hard.
To play Jamie. Jamie Johal, right? Because I was doing supersets and I didn't know how heavy that is. So I put the 2 plates and he was making all these faces like, oh, this is hard. Okay, 2 plates. Then I trained Regan and he put like 8 plates. I said, hold on a second. What the hell? Jamie was acting. Jamie.
No, you know what? To be honest, man, I put like 2 on there and it's heavy as shit for me.
You know, we were doing legs the other day, and I went to put 2 plates on, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is so heavy." I was laughing, and I look, and this one is sitting on the back of it, and I didn't know. I almost blew my knee out.
Yeah, shit. But you had the world class legs. I mean, your legs are state of the art. You didn't develop on the machines, right? You squatted, right?
Well, I didn't have a choice, man. We
Yeah,
didn't have
exactly.
we didn't have the stuff that, like, he comes up with all these grimy exercises. You know, you're just kind of setting the standard.
Top tier.
So let me take it back to what I said before. If you were in charge of Regan, what would you do? Because you've been there, you know what it takes.
I
to
told
get
you I'd lock him in a house and
take his phone away.
But you know what? I'm very impressed with your progress right now, and it's.
Thank you.
I think if you can continue this path, it's going to be what we talked about.
Yeah, Regan plus 15 pounds of muscle is danger for everyone. Yeah.
So what does it take to put 15 pounds on him then?
Well, listen, I mean, this is, we are here anyway, right? Because we were discussing these possibilities of that, right?
Tell me your game plan, dude.
Yeah.
So, Regan, what's your game plan?
We discussed a little bit, so, yeah.
You want me to say it? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Dave, this is your thing.
Your moment.
Yeah. So pretty much you kind of got to go back and go over what we've done leading up to this. I did the Olympia 2021. We had I was there, and then I met up with you after the Olympia.
You had 3
the
shows
day
after,
and we had a really good run. We did Reno. We got second to Sean Clarita, which was really good. We had Sergio there, some really good athletes, and then we went over to. Well, from there we flew to Dubai. We did the Dubai Muscle Expo. At the same weekend, I flew over to Egypt, and I won the Egypt Pro. And then from Egypt, I did Prague. So we had 3 shows right after Olympia, which was really, really good. Then I went back home to Canada. I think it was around Christmas time. I had about a 4 to 6 week break. After those 3 shows, came right back to Vegas, and we jumped right into 12 weeks out from the Arnold. So not a big break, right back into it. We did the Arnolds. Unfortunately, halfway through, as we spoke before, I got really sick. We were pushing as hard as we could, and unfortunately, we didn't really land where we would have liked to at all. But when I signed the contract, we wanted to do it. We weren't going to back out. So many guys had already backed out. I was just like, we're just going to keep pushing, and hopefully something will come around and the body will start responding. So we did Arnold, Boston. Not our best showing. I wish we could have showed up like we did in Reno, but it's not over. And after those shows, we had a 12-week break. I'm still training in that time, but it's more of a health to get back to yourself and feel good. And then from there, 24 weeks out, the 12-week break, and then 24 weeks out from the Olympia. So okay, what do we do 24 weeks out? Okay, we got to grow. So the first 12 weeks. Now we're around 13
14 weeks.
14 weeks now.
Yeah.
So maybe it was 2 weeks ago that we started discussing something, and it was now we're, like you said, 14 weeks out from the Olympia. So we're on 16 weeks out. I had about 8 weeks to grow. I'm starting to get. I'm the biggest I've ever been, around 290, 295 in the morning, and we're on such a good rhythm that I'm just like, Jesus, there's not enough time to really make like substantial amount of improvements for the Olympia. Now, I've qualified, which is, I'm really happy about, but I've been competing for the last, 10 years, about 3 times a year for the last 10 years. So that I've never taken a year off, and, I think this is the time. I love to compete. You also love to compete, and, doing the Olympia this year would be amazing. But I feel like the best thing right now in my career, seeing myself, really starting to put that tissue on. I need to be, 15 pounds more than I was, say Reno. We were at 254 at the backstage of Reno, and that was my best for sure. But I think a 265, 270 on stage would be really, really good, and I would feel super confident at that weight, going in and doing some serious damage. I want to really get in the top 5, and I don't think right now I'm just not there yet. So this year we've decided to take it off and continue this rhythm of putting this tissue on, and we'll hit a show next year and go to Olympia.
So you're making an announcement. You're officially
not going to do it this year. It's a hard decision. I love to compete, but I think it's the best move for where we want to go. And for me to go into the Olympia this year, and I definitely think I've improved under that short period of time that we've had. I think I'd still be up, 254, probably 260 at least. I think
you definitely made the improvements, just like we all noticed. Is this enough? I mean, you competed 254 in Reno, and you're 6 foot, right? 6 foot. Yeah. So it's just expected when you look top 5 from last year, Big Ramy and Brandon, Hadi, Hunter, and Nick, right? Thickly muscled. So they're going to say, for me, he blows them out of the water as far as symmetry, aesthetics, shape, right? But they're going to beat him in this mass department.
It's still a muscle contest.
Yeah, it's still muscle contest. Yeah, doesn't matter what we say, it's still muscle contest. I mean, I remember when I was preparing Chris Cormier to battle you at the Arnold Classic, right? And he was like, he has a much better shape and he should beat you, and but it's still muscle contest and you beat him. And that's how, most of the Olympias are winning, right? Ronnie and Dorian and you. It's a muscle contest. I would prefer beauty over the freaky, size. So how much heavier are you going to be? He's 254 already on the stage in Reno. Frank Zane was under 200. Lila Brada, God knows, right? So back then, this was considered, okay, let's go for the shape. But nowadays, when you stand next to Big Ramy, you have to have a size. And if he doesn't have it, he would be like outclassed. And I think it's the right decision. For me, I would love to see him compete. And, you already build it up. Let's just, because we left a little bit bad taste in everybody's opinion, Arnold Classic in Boston. Let's get him back in shape. He was really sick as a dog, as you know.
Almost literally. Me and you sat aside and I said, dude, if he's got to pull him out of the show. Like, I didn't want him to faint or stop breathing.
It was bad.
There was moments here that I felt bad because he can't breathe. He can't do nothing. He was just...
There was some miserable times. And I loved the prep too, so it was like, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So what do you, so now that you've just heard this,
you dropped the bomb on us, and, I'm shocked that you're actually...
Agreeing?
Happy.
Plus with it. Yeah.
Thank
God. And I thought all along, I mean, he asked me in my opinion, and you hype Regan a lot. I mean, obviously you're close to him, and I always have the same answer, right? I'm like, dude, he's just not big enough. Yep. Like, as much as I believe in him, and I always I would love to pass the torch, there's going to come a time, and I was hoping it would be sooner. Definitely, making the switch years ago to drop down and come back.
That took
it might have sidelined you, but I can see your vision, I can see your focus, and the mentorship that you give him. I know that you're very particular about how you set your programs, right? So I think the most important thing is the consistency, and I think the sleep pattern is a plus. If I would to say anything of your progress that probably is taking place right now, it's the sleep issue
100%.
Because from my understanding, you barely slept. Like, you were waking up, and you need that deep REM sleep to be able to make the progress. And I mean, sleeping was so important. I mean,
essential.
That's when you're growing, is not like when you're in the gym working out for the 1 hour, 2 hours, you're in there a day. And like I said, I mean, I would train twice a day. I would do it all. I mean, what my theory would be, right? Because he is, he's considered a top level guy. I mean, as far as, you have the, Yamamoto backing you, Celsius. I mean, everyone's behind you. So it's like, you're paid to do this, right? And this is your job. Like, you want to be the best in the world. Like, your mindset needs to be just like I told Sean Roden years ago. I told Phil Heath the same thing. You have to believe that you're going to be the best.
Yeah.
And you have to now work on your vision. You have to work on the mental. Like, right now, you're like, if I want to get in that top position,
You have to believe.
I have to believe that I know where I need to be. So don't just kind of like skate there and say, well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to hope to place top 5. Like, fuck that. Like, you're going to win, right?
Yeah.
So my expectation is just like in 01. Like, when I got 8th in 2000, I said, I went on the tour after. I stood next to Coleman for the first time and got compared, and I got second to him because no one else showed up in 2000. And I said, you know what? I can beat this guy.
2001.
And I had that vision all year, and I trained for that Olympia. And I don't know what your plan is. You don't have to make the announcement now. But right now, you're sitting out the only major contest the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You need to start visualizing that you can be the
Next
best
year.
and stand next to the best and be 100%. So when they ask you next year, what do you think you're going to place, or what's your expectations? I'm coming to win. Without people saying, "Oh my God, well, how cocky!" Like,
crazy,
people
yeah.
know right now maybe that ability isn't there. But listen, when you hold that weight, like, we can talk about how impressive you are right now at 294, but sit at 294 or 300 pounds for the next 6+ months.
Yeah.
He's
Serious
gonna stay.
business.
Yeah, serious business.
Serious business, because now that weight is going to stick. Because if you tried to pull down now for the Olympia,
Yeah.
all those progress gains, the fullness, probably, and you can speak on this because you're an expert, would it stick?
Yeah. It's a temporary quickly, and you go right back down. So I think it's a great decision, as much as it hurts. Oh shit! Everybody wants to see him at Olympia. I get a million Instagram messages like, "Oh, how about how's he looking? Send me the video." All kinds of stuff. But okay, it's very impressive what you say, Jay, and we discussed this before. And he just 2 minutes ago said he wants to be top 5. So. And F that. And no, this is learn from Jay.
But you know what, though? Before you won,
Yeah.
you got in the top 5. You
Listen
got
to
in
me.
the top 10. Yeah.
Listen to me. When Lonnie Teeper asked me in the elevator in 2001, he said to me, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm going to win." And he looked at me like, and I only walked out of the elevator and probably said, "This hockey mother effer." And I walked and I stood next to Coleman.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I won.
Yeah, you should have won that.
And the judges took it from me. So but I was certain, because I had Chris Aceto, who had eyes and whatever, and we know, like, he had seen it. Like, he's like, dude, this is
Crazy.
yeah.
I talk about this. When I saw him at the lineup next to Ronnie, he winked at me because I was like, I didn't expect it, seriously. But what I want to say, you can learn this from me, because I was not a winner and I didn't have this mentality. Fuck top 5, you're going for a victory. He had that mentality, even though last time when you said,
and he did it.
Yeah, even 99, he said he believed he could have be. I forgot.
I thought I was going to stand next to Ronnie Coleman.
I forgot the famous Ronnie's comment, like, Jay is smoking crack.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he was not ready. But listen, you have, for me, for everybody, best aesthetics in the goddamn whole open division bodybuilding in the world. You have a best aesthetics.
Thank you.
It's right there. Structure, your shoulders are wide. I mean, everything is there. So now, if you fill it up with a high quality muscle, you have strided lats, strided glutes, strided hamstring already, right? With the bigger quads, a little bit, and fuller chest, deeper abs, peaking bicep, it's going to be very hard to beat. I don't care who is next to you. I was competing in an era with, I said, Flex, Sean, Kevin, so I didn't really believe it. And I was shocked that you had so much confidence that you saw yourself winning. I'm shocked, and I'm happy to hear it. Winner's mentality. I can feel that energy from him. He was convinced. You are still not convinced. So change your mind from a top 5. Because when we were going to this year's Olympia, this was his mentality. Okay, if he can crack top 6, you go to the first call
top
out.
10, which
Yeah.
which I don't. Yeah,
But
If he
then,
doesn't have the size, it's tough.
yeah,
it is.
why train to be in a top 10
No,
this
no,
year
yeah.
when you can use this
Exactly.
time to grow and next year deliver something that Jay delivered in 2001?
And you know
the
what?
best way to say it.
We all talk about Regan has Mr. Olympia potential. Eventually, it's like how many times? It's just like Big Ramy. We said it over, and if this guy gets it together, this guy gets it together every year. He's if he just gets in shape, he missed it so many times, and then finally, when he hit it, looking
He's
at
like
this
boom,
year,
boom, 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 every
I'm going to
time.
ask you
Yeah.
straight out: who's winning the Olympia this year?
Big Ramy.
Ramy for sure.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's any listen, a month ago, I said, okay, people may challenge him, but now looking at what's going on, dude.
He's focused.
Forget it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I can't see him losing, being in the shape he is at 14 weeks out right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday for about an hour. He's such a sweetheart. But really, no matter how wide lens that was, he didn't fit in the picture. I mean,
You know what's crazy? We always talk about this. Jay is the first word to
Yeah.
say it. Width matters.
Yeah.
Width matters.
Jay's width. I realized in '99 Ironman. I mean, it's a goddamn how wide you were, right?
There was a lot, so I was only 240 there. You know?
Yeah, but the width
And
was
Regan's
ridiculous.
Regan's got the
He's
potential.
got the width too,
Absolutely.
with the small waist.
I mean, let me put it this way: Regan has a better physique than you, Jay. Let me
Better
put it this way.
potential. He's got it put together.
So this process now is not only focused like you're zoned in on the training. This is when you start building the mental capacity to be able to stand in a winner's circle, because that's what's going to separate you. So this is something I suggest, Milos, you start working on with him is the mental zone that he needs to be in. That like, okay, what are we gunning for? No more tops 5. Like this is kind of like nonsense, you know.
If he puts on the muscle,
Yeah.
Which
he's going to be right
Muscle-
there with anyone in the world.
Yeah, muscle mean confidence, of course.
Yeah.
You know,
You
because
feel, I mean, you're as
Which we
confident as you've ever
absolutely-
been right
yeah, for
now.
sure, for
like
sure.
when you go to the gym and train, you're shocked sometimes how you looked, right?
Yeah.
Love that. Like that's
photos I've
motivation.
never seen.
Like you probably look forward. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to
yeah.
train today, and like that's great. That's a great spot to be in.
and that's why I'm like in my mind I was so like I didn't want to make that you know when you pull the trigger on a prep, you know, it's okay, it's time to, you know, now we're cutting. It was like I'm in such a good rhythm. I'm like I was like getting like I don't want to do that. You know, I want to keep getting bigger. I feel good right now. I feel healthy. I feel like I can just keep packing it on.
so you're climbing right now, and this would be okay going down. So he's going to continue. So he needs to be like 300 pounds by the end of the month.
for sure.
And just hold it, like you said.
So,
hold it. Hold it.
Regan, so you're going to document this. I mean, you're shooting here for your YouTube channel. So what you're not going to do is take a hiatus
from social media, nothing like that. We have we're going to be filming at least one video on YouTube per week, and we're filming also 3 times in the
And what's
gym.
your YouTube channel?
Just my name, so Regan Grimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm on a different tip. I'm happy he's doing this, because we've talked about the potential for years, but why get back on stage if you know I have to get bigger? Why do it? Why are you in a hurry to get your
It
ass
sucked
kicked
that we
again?
were doing these, like we were kept building up these Olympias, and we couldn't necessarily talk about your name in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Right,
It
we just
bothers
couldn't,
me.
because
For
this
sure.
top 10 is going to be shit. It's going to be crazy.
Last podcast, actually, I even feel guilty for not saying it, but being realistic, right? When you see top 6 from last year and a couple more contenders, he is going to be challenging it, but that's not what we want. I mean, listen,
You wanna win.
When he came to me and said, "Hey, we need to talk," I was like, "Oh no," but
Matt's like, you going over there or what?
Regan and I, we started talking about this, and I said, okay, if this is what you want to do, we went to his sponsors to make sure his sponsors are okay, because you have to. Some sponsors, and I was like, you got to go talk to Milos in person. So this needs to come from you, because we know how much Milos believes and he wants him to compete. But if your ultimate goal is to be Mr. Olympia, sometimes you have to take a step back in order to take 2 steps ahead, and that's what he's doing.
Did you think
now.
you were getting canned, or
yeah, but
don't lie? Did you think you were
no. I could see it. I could see it coming, right? Because look, it's not like he's not motivated and all this stuff, but what we were talking, you have a winner's mentality. You want to win, and we were kind of he had the same way he wants to make a top 5.
Yeah.
And even top 5, when you see top 5 from last year is going to be very hard to knock it off, right? To get into this, you know, and then you have a Samson, and you
Not
have
at 260
you have a
pounds.
William Boniak, you have a.
Where I sit now, I think top 10 would be
It's very hard.
Would be hard. Would be
Challenging.
hard.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
That's being
It's
realistic. though.
Realistic, because we're not delusional. We know bodybuilding. You know.
So if he 254 ripped in great condition in Reno could not beat Sean Clarida, right? He damn sure is not going to beat Big Ramy, you know, or Nick Walker, you know. So with the same principles, right? But if you bring him to what we talk about, 265 to 70, then it's a different ball game. I mean, when you are wider, bigger V-taper, X-frame, strided, I mean, we all appreciate that conditioning that you brought, striations, right? When you turn the back and you do that.
a lot of guys don't have
Yeah,
that.
you don't have it. So, yeah, I can visualize him at his best. I already have it with the full chest, right? And thick, deep abs. His structure.
He's getting excited.
270.
He's over there like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
We're still not there, yeah. I tell you, I'm bummed that
It's loading.
I'm bummed that I don't train you, because I think that if I train you, you would be that much more, because I still
You know,
think,
you know what's funny though?
I still think that you know, get away with the easy stuff.
So I didn't know when Regan was going to talk to Milos, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see FaceTime
Yeah, you
video from
FaceTime
Milos, and I
that.
went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
so I answered it, and they're sitting right there, and he's like, "Okay, we got to talk."
I
I'm
was
like,
I was worried a little bit.
no, but you know what? Because we know how much Milos wants him to
Yeah, of
compete.
course,
But after you look at the big picture,
Yeah.
if the ultimate goal is to get to the top, this is a smart decision to
By far.
get there.
Wait a
I
minute.
think
Is your
we
name
talked-
Milos?
Milos.
Or Milos?
Milos.
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 Okay, so I've been
Milos.
saying it wrong.
Everybody
We
is
start the introduction again.
Milos.
Milos.
Okay, say my last name.
Sarcev.
Sharchev.
Sarchev.
Sharchev. Okay.
Sarcev.
Sharchev.
So there's
Okay.
an R in the middle.
Sharchev. Yeah, it's R.
Sarcev.
Sar-
Okay.
Sarchev.
Okay.
Sarchev.
Yeah, but you know what? I catch myself sometimes when I'm introducing
an
myself. I said Milos.
What about Andy Velchich?
Huh?
Andy
Velchich.
Velchich.
Yeah, Velchich doesn't.
Belichick's.
Velchich. Yeah.
No,
What is it?
he doesn't know his last name. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it's Velchich. You know, I told him to ask your mom.
Yeah.
You know,
I
so
call him Velchich.
We had this on
You
the
don't know?
shows the other day. Antoine Valiant.
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 Same thing with Angelica. Everybody always
What's
says
her last name?
Texeria.
Texeira.
It's
Oh.
not.
Teixeira.
It's Teixeira.
Oh,
Teixeira.
Teixeira.
What?
Okay.
Just
Teixeira.
lower Teixeira.
Yeah. So everyone always says her name wrong, and I'm
What's
like,
Big Rami's name?
Mamdua Elsbay.
Is that what it is?
It's his real name, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ashamed. I don't know. Yeah.
So how do you feel now?
What's Andrew Jack's name?
Andrew Jacked?
I don't know. What's his name? Though?
I don't know his real name.
It's
God
not.
damn.
It's a different.
Yeah, I have him on
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram. You know, he was under different name. Yeah, so. But I think that Jacked is such a great,
Yeah.
Andrew Jacked.
We're going to see him next
Yeah,
week for the
we're-
first
Let's,
time.
yeah.
We're going to see him next weekend for the
Oh
first
yeah,
time.
for the
Arnold
Arnold Classic.
UK.
Yes. What do you guys think of Arnold? Okay.
I mean, we'll see.
There's this
Yeah.
guy Mark Hector that they talking about.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he good or?
Supposedly,
Looks good. I
I've seen
Dennis-
this guy
I
before.
competed against him in the UK.
Yeah.
2019.
He looks pretty good in the pictures.
He's good.
And
I mean, he has good lines.
I
He
guess
just-
Martin's had got a little battle going with Andrew
With
Jack
Andrew,
a little
yeah.
bit.
I don't know what kind of battle. You know, come on.
don't think
There was no comparison. You know, really. With all due respect, I mean, there was the standout. You saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, was it really a comparison? Okay. When you analyze muscle by muscle, okay, he's
I
shorter,
don't know, a lot of
compact.
people thought that Martin should have won.
I didn't think so.
I
The
don't think I
same,
heard
same.
anyone say that.
Huh?
Did they?
Nah,
Martin?
yeah,
I thought Andrew walked away with it.
yeah. For me, there
But
was.
look, if Andrew's not
there
in
was a
shape,
hands
if
down.
he's off, and Martin could
He was like, yeah. I keep mentioning this because I did that. I don't know if you remember. 1 minute into 2009 Olympia, I called his number, cell phone, and I left. Congratulations, you won. For me, that was so convincing. Okay, with all due respect to Dexter Jackson. Dexter later told me like, "Oh, what are you talking about, man?" All this stuff. For me, that was. I love your shape, Dex. You know, you are my guy as far as he has all this beauty and aesthetics and everything. Jay was twice the size, twice as width, and all V taper ripped to the bone. And I don't know if you noticed this. You were convinced you won already as soon as you step on. And it reflected your stage presence was ooh.
Confidence matters.
You really
And
have to
for
have
me, Dexter didn't have that. And when I mentioned in the podcast, he was kind of offended. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it was apparent. It was apparent, for sure. So Andrew Jack, I didn't even notice Martin next to him. Really, it was not like, oh, let's compare. There is a fight. It wasn't.
Andrew's pretty standout.
Yeah, there was.
He's tall.
I mean, there was maybe second and third, Steve and Martin. That was a fight for the second place. But this Martin has a shape, has it. He has a width, a round muscle base. Yeah, condition was quite good, very good, especially from the back. He didn't have a front as good as. But is he a contender?
And
Yes.
James is in the show also.
James Hollingshead,
yeah.
James, I mean, look, Martin might as well, could even win the contest. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but shape, structure, that wow factor, it was not even close. So did you actually look at when we were watching?
we watched
Did you actually notice Martin being contender?
No, I'm pretty. I'm a big fan of this Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they were talking about Tony Freeman comparison and how great Tony Freeman is versus, and they tried to do like, what everyone does. They put the pictures of Tony next to Andrew Jack and said, "Oh, well, look, he looks better in this," but it's never the same unless it's like saying era to era, like Mr. Olympia's, and see, Ronnie Coleman destroys Dorian Yates. It would be a lot closer than what the pictures show, right?
They always do that too. They put Chris Bumstead and Rami beside each other.
Of course.
Oh, Chris looks bigger. It doesn't. You put them beside each other on stage. It's not even the same thing. Yeah.
We should also do a shout out. Today was the passing of Bill Pearl, also. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all shocked today, September 14. Bill Pearl, legendary bodybuilder, at the age of 91, passed away. Yeah,
he was someone we all admired coming.
he was 1953 AU Mr. USA, and then he competed. I think his last contest was 71. NABA Universe when he beat Sergio Oliva and Frank Zane. He was legendary. I just never figured out. There was pictures of Bill and Arnold on the stage, and I tried to figure out what was that, but they never really competed against each other. But Bill was vegetarian. I do remember that, which was kind of shocking. I had the pleasure of talking to him many times. He was such a gentleman, and I'm going to tell this because it's really close to my heart. When we talk about it, and I was talking about this training to failure, and he's looking at me, Milos. Why would you fail in anything, right? And he got me off guard, like, okay, that's a valid question. Why would you want to fail in anything? I say, okay, I see a point, but I say, okay, don't you train to your limits and beyond the limits? And then he goes, okay, I see your point, right? So he was actually always kind of stopping training short of the failure. Okay?
My style.
Yeah, your style. Yeah. Look what did you do?
He
just
was
won Olympia.
Make something yourself one
I
day.
had a lot of great interactions with him. He worked in
Yes.
Life Fitness
What
for
a
a long
gentleman,
time.
yeah.
And I got to see him quite a bit at the trade shows, coming in. I watched a lot of this old school bodybuilding, which the books were more apparent of. Today, we don't see it as much on social media, correct?
Yeah.
But he was definitely one of the guys I looked upon as an inspiration to me. And, you walked in today and mentioned it to me, and we had both seen it on media this morning. But, once again, 91, great life.
Yeah, great life. Yeah. I mean, and you have to respect, he was well-liked among everyone and respected. I mean, look at this physique. He was so ahead of the time. I mean, the size and thickness that he had for 1950s is mind-boggling, right? So, I just, ironically, about 2 weeks ago, because I moved my house and I couldn't find his key of the universe, the book, instructional book. I don't know if you've seen it, with the drawings of each exercise. It's one of the best books you can have. So I reordered.
Library. Do you have a display in your new place?
Not yet.
Library.
My bookcase is coming at the end of the month. You order, you wait forever. Yeah, but anyway, so our condolences to Bill Pearl's family and loved ones.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was, and it's going to be on our minds forever. I do know that.
Yeah, so let's close this up, Regan. Let's have you for the last word. I think this is your time, and obviously your fans and supporters, the listeners are all going to be. They're they're all going to be behind you, I know, with this decision. I know some people are going to be disappointed. But at the same time, you're going to be present, obviously, at the Olympia weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You'll really be able to be active this time.
I'll be there with, Yamamoto, Celsius.
Trifecta.
Trifecta. So we'll be there and look forward to seeing everyone and watching the show, too. And I'll be able to watch it from the stands, so it'll be sweet.
He's going to have a shirt, Club 300 plus. Right?
Yeah.
You're not allowed
The weight don't mean much. It's just about what's going to stick, and
exactly.
that's the most important thing. And we're really looking forward to tracking the progress. We'll have you guys both on to kind of update people with the progress. We appreciate you guys always sharing the news with us, and we can't wait to see you on the top, man. So
thanks, Jay. Yeah.
So until next time, we are taking pictures.
That's his famous.
And,
look at his famous face.
Doing the corner face.
Dislocate the jaw.
All right, so we're out for 44, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys comment below. Let us know what you think about the decision, the methods, and where you see Regan.
But wait, hold on. One more thing. How many diuretics did you take last night?
I took one diuretic last night after I told you. I was contemplating Lasix or the diuretic. It was late. And then this morning I was considering taking 25 hydrochlorothiazide, but I said, okay. I think my face is down.
Tomorrow. I have to take a diuretic.
Are you peaking right now? Are you peaking?
Listen, pictures are forever. Videos are forever. Right now, I'm not showing my incredible physique, so my face has to be like chiseled, right?
All right, we appreciate you always, Milos.
Oh, there you go. Say my last name.
Sarcev.
Sarcev. All right. Next time.
All right.
I want to
Thanks
hear
for
it.
listening, guys.